The market is quite choppy recently. We have crashed, now we're recovering. Some tokens are recovering better than others. AIXBT is one of them. Let's have a look at whether or not it still makes sense to buy AIXBT. Let's have a look at the on-chain data. Let's look at who's buying and who's selling here. Now, this is not the first video on AIXBT on this channel. The first video was published 48 days ago. It underperformed the average video because at the time the token was still not that popular. Another video followed which performed pretty much average. And here is number 3, which again tended to somewhat underperform. So the videos on the topic don't do that great. The price development though did. This is when the first video was published. At the time the price was still at 17 cents. Now we are at 69 cents. And so I always try to be early on this channel. I'm looking for the tokens that have positive momentum, but that still have some more upside potential to go. And so if you want to be early next time, consider subscribing. There's new videos regularly. Now, what is driving this recent rally? Interestingly enough, when we look at the number of holders over time, the number of retail holders and whale holders, this is not going up. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets on chain, on the base chain, that have at least 1,000 tokens. In the middle, it's 10,000 tokens. On the right, it's 100,000 tokens. Now, since the price is currently at a bit under 70 cents, the left side is equal to $700, the middle 7,000, the right $70,000. The number of buyers and sellers still tends to slightly creep up, but here's probably what's going on. Why on-chain we don't see more growth. It seems like now all the new buyers come from the centralized exchanges, and the people that bought early, that bought on-chain, now moved over some of their holdings or all of the holdings to the Binances of this world. Because trading fees on Binance and Gate.io and HTX etc. are of course lower than if you were to trade directly on-chain on the decentralized exchanges. On top of that, there's also a lot of leverage in the market. In the last 24 hours, we've seen $1.3 billion worth of trading volume through the perpetual futures. Now, since Bitcoin hit 100K, it has a pretty hard time climbing. We actually tended to see lower highs and lower lows in the last weeks. And at the same time, there isn't any more money flowing into crypto. This is the stablecoin market cap over the last weeks. And if this continues for too long, then things could potentially turn around again and we could start another bear market. Now, what happened over here was the Terra Luna collapse, right? This is when the Anchor protocol went bust, when the UST stablecoin imploded. It started a bear market that lasted for more than a year, during which also FTX collapsed. But then in October of 2023, we turned around. But now it seems like the market has a hard time expanding further. It's truly becoming player versus player again. Now, when there's altcoin season, we can buy pretty much any cryptocurrency and they all double and triple. But I'm not sure how close that is. Have a look at the others dominance. So this shows how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that are not in the top 10. And yes, this tends to rise over time. And the current risk to reward doesn't look too bad. But have a look at the inverse of that, the Bitcoin dominance. When the Bitcoin dominance is very high and it then subsequently crashes, that's when there's altcoin season, right? The altcoins become more important. Bitcoin becomes in turn less important. Now, there's been 2 major altcoin seasons in the past. One happened at the end of 2017. The other happened at the beginning of 2021. So it's marked here by those yellow circles. Here is the long-term Bitcoin price with those same yellow circles. So when did altcoin season happen in the past? It happened after we had already a massive bull run in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin made its multiple X returns from the last bear market. And when Bitcoin was very high and when people wondered what's the next Bitcoin, that's then when the altcoins went off. Now the question is the current bull market enough? Last time when we started altcoin season, we went up by almost 1,000%. This time we went up by only 500% roughly. We are a little bit in no man's land. It seems like we're in a similar situation to September of 2018. So that's here, this red circle, right? We are pretty much at the same level in Bitcoin dominance. We are not at those extreme heights where more than 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin. We are still just at 58% dominance. And so really navigating a time like this is relatively hard. It's more important to really have an edge in the market, to know more than the average market participant, to buy the assets that other winners are buying as well. Just have a look at how confused the market currently is. The best category within crypto in the last 7 days was AI frameworks. But the worst performing category was AI memes. So we can't say that everything AI is going up. Returns are getting more and more concentrated in just a few winners. If you make a 10x, then 9 other people have to lose pretty much everything. It's zero sum right now. The market isn't expanding in the last weeks. And so here is how I navigate the situation. I'm tracking other influencers that tend to make very good trades. For example, here, Kyle Chessy. Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token at 14 cents. So that was over here. Subsequently, the price went up by more than 800%. But it's important to also take profit, because once attention moves to the next token and the price goes down, we are now only at 33 cents again. You want to be early. You don't want to buy into a token where attention tends to decline. Or here, another Kyle Chessy purchase, Fartcoin at 5 cents. Again, a very, very nice run, more than 3000%. But now attention is declining again, right? It's player versus player. The assets aren't growing that quickly anymore. One more Kyle Chessy purchase at 0.3 cents. 13 comments. Now Griffane is at 44 cents. So a 14,000% gain. And so this is what the game is all about. It's about buying things when not a lot of people know about this. It's about buying things when the insiders start to get in, when the top traders start to get in. Now I've talked about Kyle Chessy now several times. Here is his YouTube channel. He's got 142,000 subscribers. And the reason why we know what he's buying is because we track his wallets. We've got 12 of his wallets where we get signals whenever he's buying or selling something. But we're not just tracking Kyle Chessy. We are also tracking Alex Becker. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. When he talks about a token, of course this generates attention, and attention turns into purchases. We've got 12 of Alex Becker's wallets. Or here we've got Crypto Banter. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. And we've got 33 of their wallets. And so how can we be early? We can be early by buying the things when all the top people are getting in. And so of course now it's more important than ever to be part of this inner circle, right? To not just buy something random on a list, because I'm not sure how close altcoin season really is. Now of course not every trade that an influencer makes will make thousands of %, because especially the larger tokens, they need a lot of capital to move the price, but the smaller tokens, they are more high risk but also more high reward. And so I really like this strategy. I like the strategy of trying to find other influencer wallets, because the influencers of course don't post this officially. We have to use on-chain analytics to find them. And so I've made several videos. First of all, how can we find those wallets, but then also how can we track the wallets? How can we get alerts whenever they buy or sell? And then how can we interpret the alerts that we get from the tracking? It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics. It's also about risk management. There's more than 100 videos in total. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, does it still make sense to buy AIXBT right now? Since more and more of the supply is now moving to the centralized exchanges, is there still more growth? Actually, on-chain, there is still a lot of activity, and I believe that more and more of that activity will over time move to Binance, etc. AIXBT is the 5th largest trending token on the base chain, according to the liquidity pool size. There's 2 liquidity pools. When we add this together, that's 20 million. The token is even more liquid than the virtual protocol. We've also seen how Digital Asset News recently bought some. So that's this YouTube channel over here. They've got 350,000 subscribers. They're probably going to talk about the token as well, potentially generating more purchases. But then what I think is probably the most useful chart is this one over here. This is AIXBT relative to the virtuals price. And so we did see some outperformance since the beginning of December, roughly 60%. But what's interesting is how predictable the volatility seems to be. We sometimes go up versus virtuals by 50%. We sometimes go down versus virtuals by 28%. So this seems to be somewhat the trading range. We either go down to that degree or we go up. And just recently we had our rally again. And so would it be that far-fetched to see some similar kind of volatility again? We're probably going to see yet one more time a bit of a correction, to then see a recovery again, to then correct one more time. This is probably how the game is played, right? Attention moves from one token to the next. And this seems to be a pretty good token to cross trade. So when you're overall long-term bullish on virtual, I personally am, then it might make sense to sometimes move from the virtual token to AIXBT and back and forth. Currently, AIXBT seems to be somewhat expensive, but probably there will be a correction again when it then makes sense to buy it one more time. Currently, it seems like the virtual protocol itself, the virtual token, is comparatively cheaper. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.